going on? It is Thursday night. Oh yeah, this is the point of the week where my fucking week just flies by like nothing you've ever seen. We got Thursday night football tonight, college football show tomorrow. Got the live stream Saturday night. Of course, my Sooners got to whoop that Bedlam ass. Then of course Sunday NFL football, and before I know it, my weekend's over. It's like it was never even here. What's up, new guy? I am James, better known as Degenerate75. I'm a DFS content creator who is here to help you get a little bit better at DFS. If you don't know, you probably suck at it, but don't worry, most people suck at it because you don't even know what you don't know. If you're here for my picks and plays, let me save you a little bit of time and tell you this won't be the show for you. But if you want to learn a little bit about the process and how to quit stepping on your own dick, I highly encourage you to hang around for about the next 30 minutes. Hell, even throw your question in the chat. You might even win a ticket with me because you need to know this up front. I'm not a poor. If you really find you like the cut of my jib, check out that schedule right there. I do this show live every Monday and Thursday to break down the Monday night and Thursday night games. I have a Saturday night stream at 7 o'clock, Lord's Time Zone, where I break down the main slate for Sunday. As always, doing giveaways. Yes, I do golf. Yes, I do college football. And coming this February, I do NASCAR. Make sure you're over there hitting the like. For every 50 likes we get, my dude Eric is sponsoring a giveaway where we will build a ticket tonight that we will put in the main Half a Millionaire Maker. If we win, I will split the profits with you 50-50. That's the deal I'll make with you. Right now, I see my dude. I see Barry, Cody Barry over here in the chat. We split $25,000 earlier this year. So there is proof I will do it. There is a track record of me doing it. Just to briefly touch on contest selection tonight, guys, I'm going to tell you what's been working for me at Showdown this year. And, we're getting to the time of the year where a lot of people are starting to burn through their money. You're becoming a deposit king over on the DraftKings. And the best thing I could tell you is, you need to really start trying to play for singles and doubles and quit trying to spend your whole year chasing a home run. That's why you burn through your money by week 8, week 9, week 10 every year of the NFL. And you're like, I can't win at this. I always lose. Okay, first of all, quit fucking talking like that. Second of all, quit doing it, Bob. All right, even this one, the $20 3 max, which a lot of people I think like to play in, right, has a really good payout structure. Look at that. Only about 8% goes to first, which is a tremendous payout structure. Second place is half of first, and 10th place is 1/10. That is a really good structured contest. I will grant you that. And it's very easy to max enter because, for just $60, you can max enter the 20 lineups. But this is why this one's not sustainable. Even if you somehow did win this, there's a very, very likely chance you're going to be chopping that about 9 million ways, okay? Because there's just so many people in it. But the more important part than that is when there's 139,000 people in a contest, just know this. You'll basically know by the first quarter if your ass is cooked, right? Because you got to be on a very, very tight, perfect script to beat 139,000 people. Even if it's a 50-person chop, you're still going to have to basically have the nutted lineup. So just know that if you ever get tired of man, I play Showdown. Basically by halftime, I'm already dead. Okay, well, that is true. Most of the time you are dead, right? Because the game, you faded some guy and he already has 5 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. Well, you're already toast, right? And so whenever you play in contests like that, often you're already going to be dead if you don't get off to a nutted start in the first half. So what I have found, and I'm just going to keep telling you, play in contests that have less than 5,000 people, preferably less than 2,000 people. And you'd be amazed how often you will go into the fourth quarter with a good lineup still having a chance to make a run at it, right? Because even though that one asshole has the 5 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown that you faded, well, maybe only a couple dozen people played him in that tournament, and they don't have the other good pieces in their lineups, right? So you can still be live if you just play in smaller contests. So really check out the single entries, the 3 maxes, and try to get into the ones that have less than 2,000 or 3,000 people in them. That makes NFL Showdown DFS so much more sustainable, such a better sweat. And yes, you'll never hit a home run playing in those smaller contests. The first place is often $2,000, $3,000 in those. But man, don't lie. If you hit $2,000 or $3,000, your ass gonna be out in the streets dancing naked. All right. So make sure you're hitting that like. I'd like to see 100 likes today so I can do 2 giveaways. I already see Nick with a super chat, with a random Thursday super chat. This is probably because he was already promising people the stone today on the Discord, and he feels terrible. Feed the guy in the back. Please, he's looking rough. Yeah, he's looking pretty emaciated back there, Nick. He was getting mouthy last night. I had to smack him into next week. All right, let me clear that. I got to sneeze. Oh, shit, I had to sneeze. By the way, the one contest you need to get in is mine. This is the Sunday contest. Showdown, Hoedown Listener League. Get in it. We have a flat payout structure. It is a reduced rate contest, and it helps me build the community. Editor, go ahead and drop it over here in the chat. Go ahead. See, I'm allergic to shitty contests. That's why you should play in mine. Right there, it is a $5 3 max. Go reserve your 3 lineups. Help me get it filled. You can see there's 500 spots in it. We're not even to 100 yet, so start reserving those spots so I don't have to be Sunday morning being like, hey, Twitter, man, I need help filling my contest, all right? I have a pretty big props community over on my website, and we've really been doing well hitting these props. So here's some props that we've identified that we like for tonight's game that you should play. We've been since I've been doing this on the show, we're hitting about 75%. These are not necessarily ones that I would say go play on Price Picks and Underdog, although you can. Just know over there you have to parlay all your bets. These are ones you can just go play directly on the sports book and just play the ones you like and just try to get in plus money, right? And if you're using the Prop Sniper over at Run the Sims using my code DGen75, they'll show you the books where you can get the best value. Hold on, gotta get a quick swig of my cold brew. My nose is tickly after that massive sneeze. Yeah, it's noon and I'm still chugging the industrial sized cold brew. That's how you get these big old muscles. I'm kidding. I'm a 1940s buff fat guy. All right, so here's something we like tonight. Nick Westbrook-Akeen. Over 17.5 receiving yards. Yes, he only got 1 catch last game, but it ended up being a good one. But Treylon Burks is not getting the run that he was. Nick Westbrook-Akeen is getting almost as much run as Treylon Burks if you just look at the route share last week. I think that you should expect him to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 targets. If that cashes into 2 or 3 catches based on his average depth of target, I think he's probably very likely to get over those 17.5 receiving yards. Not to mention, I think that Tennessee is likely to be in a game script where they're going to be playing from behind and are going to need to be throwing the ball. From there, Jaylen Warren over 25.5 rushing. Look, we're seeing almost a 50-50 split. Jaylen Warren is clearly the better back. And Najee Harris, weirdly enough, actually looks better now that he doesn't have to shoulder the load all by himself. So I think that the Steelers, for like the first time I can ever remember, are like truly a 50-50 backfield, right? The Steelers are notorious for being a team that just relies on one back, but it feels pretty 50-50. And I think that the Steelers, I know the Titans have a good rush defense, but I think the Steelers are going to run the ball in order of something like 30 to 35 times tonight. So if Jaylen Warren just gets 12 or 13 of those carries, he's only going to average 2 yards a carry. He can get over that 25 yard rushing total. And then lastly, Nick Folk over 1.5 field goals. I think this game's going to be a slog. I think these teams are not very good in the red zone. I think that you are probably going to see them moving the ball a little bit between the 20s, probably get some turnovers, but they're going to stall in the red zone. And so with that, give me the over on 1.5 field goals for Nick Folk. Once again, you don't have to play all of these. Pick the ones you like. These aren't ones you got to parlay together. Just take the one you like and go get some action down on it. It's been going well for me. I've got some people play some prop bets for me, and that's all I can say, okay? Looking at the weather tonight, if you don't know, new guy, the big guy's not a poor, and I can afford the $18 a year to give you the very best projections. And says tonight in Pittsburgh is going to be pretty beautiful, right? Cold. It's going to be balls cold, but no wind or anything, right? No wind, no rain. So it's just going to be a nice, crisp night there in Pittsburgh to watch football. I am not concerned about the weather at all. What game in Pittsburgh in November is not going to be a little chilly? So I'm not worried about that. The things that would have me concerned would be, some type of precipitation, whether that's snow or rain or wind. And it doesn't look like we're going to have either of those tonight. It looks absolutely beautiful there. It's going to be in the upper 30s. Okay, so a little coldness, but you know what? They're tough. They'll be out there with no sleeves. You can be able to tell the tough guys they don't wear sleeves. So I'm not concerned about the weather tonight, all right? Let's get over to the Rosetta Stone. This is the tool that I have over on my website that they get the fancy colored up one. This is the one they'll have tonight. This is the one we're going to use here on YouTube. Right here up top, if you don't know, the total on this game is tiny, right? What do we got? 37-point total. One of the smallest totals we've seen all year. 2 pretty putrid offenses. I know everybody thinks that Will Levis. By the way, a lot of people don't know this about Will Levis. It's actually Will Levis. He's a big jeans guy. Big jeans guy. Loves jeans. So a lot of people have been saying his name wrong. His name is Will Levis. Like everybody's thinking that he's the second coming of Christ because he looked like a god in his first game. We'll get to that in a minute. But this is a small total. Pittsburgh notorious for slow, sloggy games. They're at home playing a Tennessee offense, which is just a step above fucking pathetic, right? At the same time, Pittsburgh's offense has not been great either. So I think right off the hop, what is everybody going to run with tonight? I think you're going to see the sloggy narrative definitely be the most common build tonight, all right? What does that mean, a sloggy narrative? Well, if a game is going to be something like 17-16, 19-17, basically 20-17, which is kind of what the total would imply, guys who tend to do well in those kinds of scripts are running backs, lower price tight ends, and then of course kickers and defenses, right? Because they can pay off their salaries in those sloggy games so much more easily than a DeAndre Hopkins can at 11,200. So much more than a quarterback can at 9,600. Because in sloggy games, quarterbacks very, very rarely pass for 300 yards. They very, very, very rarely pass for 2 touchdowns, and you often need one of those two things for them to pay off their $9,600 price tag. So if you think this game's going to be sloggy, right there off the bat, guys that you should already think, if you think that the general public's going with a sloggy narrative, guys like quarterbacks, guys like DeAndre Hopkins, number 1 wide receivers, are going to come in lower owned. Who's going to come in higher owned than we would expect in a narrative like that? Guys like Derrick Henry, Tajay Spears, Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren, Connor Haywood, Shig Onkawanku. We're just going to call him Shig. I don't know. I don't speak that Nigerian. Kickers and defenses. Those are the guys that you would expect. So right there, off the bat, as I always say, it's not about who you play. It's about how you play them. If you want to get different tonight, you can play those guys. Just maybe play them in a different way. I think that the most common build that you could do that could actually happen tonight, a narrative that could happen tonight that nobody's going to play, is just play Tennessee dominates this game. They win the game something like 24 to 10 or something like that, right? Nobody is going to do that. So then you go build a 4-2 Tennessee build or a 5-1 Tennessee build, and that'll have you different. Another one you could do, and I think this one is going to probably go lower owned, is you just play the Steelers are actually good for once, and you just go a 5-1 Steelers onslaught, and they whoop Tennessee's ass. Do not forget, Tennessee is notoriously really, really good off of bye weeks and extended weeks. They are terrible on short weeks, and they are coming off of a very short week because they just played 4 days ago, right? So if you want to buy that, maybe you go play the Steelers kicker. You go play Boswell. You go play the defense. You go play Warren and Harris, and you play whatever, pass catcher, Deontay or Pickens, right? And you just run that 5-1 Steelers onslaught, run it back with maybe the kicker from Tennessee, right? Or whoever you think, maybe Traylon Burks or Westbrook-Ikhine, whoever might get some usage as the one run back, right? So right there, that's 2 different builds. You could go the Tennessee control narrative. You can go the Steelers control narrative that I think will be different than just the straight sloggy that everybody's going to build. Everybody's going to go 3-3 builds tonight, probably using sloggy players, or 4-2 sloggy builds using Steelers. So right there, you can be different by going with a 4-2 Tennessee or a 5-1 Tennessee or a 5-1 Pittsburgh, right? And you can still play those same sloggy type guys. You just don't play them in the same build that everybody else is, because everybody else is playing those sloggy guys in 3-3s. You're doing them in 5-1s, right? So that is a way to be different right there, okay? All right, let's get into it. I think we need to start with injuries. DeAndre Hopkins is a little banged up from the last game. I think he's fine. I think he's going to play. I'm not concerned about his injury at all. What I'm concerned about is he's 11,200 and he's old and dusty. I know he looked like amazing last week, but come on, bro. If you think he's going to do that, okay, then you might. Good luck with that. And then Kenny Pickett, I actually am concerned about his injury. He is going to play tonight, but man, he's pretty banged. I think he's he may be like Matthew Stafford. He may be one of those guys who's just too damn tough for his own good, right? Like, it's like, bro, you need to set this one out. So those are the 2. They are both playing. I'm not worried about either of them necessarily being limited or having a high percentage of re-injury or anything like that. I'm more just concerned that I don't think either of them are very good. That's what I would be concerned about. Let's start with Tennessee, the road team. Will Levis came in. Will Levis, big jeans guy. We thought we were going to see him and Malik Willis, but Levis looked so good that we just ended up playing him the whole time, right? And he threw for 4 touchdowns, which is twice as many touchdowns in one game as Tannehill threw for all of the first 6 games combined. Look, I do not expect that to be replicated. The Steelers have a legit defense. Will Levis was kind of, it was just a perfect storm, okay? I know he looked good, and he might be a future star, but do not overreact to that one game. Vegas is telling you they have a 17-point total. I think it's a good idea to probably listen to that. To me, the running back situation for Tennessee is very interesting, right? Derrick Henry at 11,600 is overpriced on this slate. I don't care what you say, okay? He is not the same Derrick Henry as 2 or 3 years ago that is just an auto, touchdown burger, right? You just can't count on that. But because he's overpriced, I think that keeps his ownership a little suppressed, especially since they might be in a script where they're going to be behind. To me, the more interesting running back is Tajay Spears. Tajay Spears has been pretty damn good this year, right? And you can tell they're slowly trying to get him the ball, and he's getting those change of pace touches, which often lead to him being running wild through this because he's fresh playing against a worn-down defense who's been having to tackle a brick wall in Derrick Henry. Moving over to the receivers, DeAndre Hopkins at 11,200. That's a tough price to pay, but because he is so overpriced, much like Derrick Henry, I think you will get him at a discounted ownership because people just aren't trying to pay that much, especially for a wide receiver on a game that most people think is going to be sloggy. To me, Treylon Burks is a guy that I think is probably their most talented receiver, but you got to be concerned that like he basically only outpaced Westbrook-Ikhine by one route last week, right? So basically the number 2 receiver is 50-50 between Burks and Westbrook-Ikhine. If you want an absolute punt, I think I like Kyle Phillips over Chris Moore. I think they're both absolute punts, and I don't know that you really need to be playing the 4th wide receiver from a team. But if you're going to, I would probably prefer the 4th wide receiver from the Titans as opposed to the 4th wide receiver from the Steelers, simply just because they might be in a game script where they're going to be having to spread it out more. Lastly, Shig at tight end at 4,200, I think is kind of underpriced. I think he's a really good value, and I think he's almost game script proof. If this game is more, is sloggy, I think he could still get there, 4 catches, 50 yards. If this game is up pace and these guys actually can move the ball, I think he could still get there. He offers a lot of value at 4,200. And of course, kickers and defenses, anytime it's the Titans versus the Steelers, you got to be open to Nick Folk and the Titans defense. And just know, with the Titans defense, road defenses at Showdown are notoriously under-owned versus home defenses, right? So if you want to play the defensive narrative tonight, maybe play it, but go with the Titans defense instead of the Steelers defense, and that will have you dramatically different than a lot of lineups out there. Flipping over to the Steelers defense, we got old Kenny Pickett. I just don't think the guy's good. I want him to be good, but man, he just isn't good. And you factor in that he's banged up, and Tennessee actually plays a little bit of defense. This just isn't a great spot for him. Now, because I'm probably not the only person out there in the ether saying this stuff, Kenny Pickett will probably be pretty low owned, and it's not very often that you get a starting quarterback at $9,200 at low ownership. So you got to watch that ownership, and if he's low enough, I think there is a point where maybe you need to play him because people are overselling how bad he's been this year. Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris, I think this is a true 50-50 backfield. Jaylen Warren is the better back. He looks better. But Najee Harris has looked more effective too. Now that he doesn't have to get those touches and get worn down, he looks fresher. And I think the most tricky play you could do tonight is double stack the running backs. Go Henry and Spears together or go Warren and Harris together. Typically, that is a terrible build for a showdown lineup because running backs in the NFL just aren't efficient enough to get there, let alone 2 of them get there from the same team. But if you truly think this is going to be a sloggy game tonight, or if you think one team is definitely going to dominate this game, I am very warm to the idea of double stacking running backs, right? You're telling me if Pittsburgh wins this game something like 20-10 or something like that Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris couldn't both get a touchdown, couldn't both get a few catches, and both get 60-70 rushing yards and deliver in a lineup, I think you're being foolish. This is one of the rare nights I will strongly consider double stacking running backs from a team, which is something I never do in my showdown lineups. Moving on to wide receiver, I think Deontay Johnson, if you didn't see, I believe he had 900 targets last week, so he's a dude you need to be watching. He's back. He is their number 1 receiver. I know George Pickens gets the bigger targets, and yes, if you made me pick, I would probably take Pickens as a captain over Deontay just because of in a single play he can get there. But if you want nice, consistent play and you want those guaranteed 12 to 15 points, give me Deontay Johnson over George Pickens all day. But then maybe the answer to the test is you just play Pickett and you play both of those guys because no one is going to play a Pickett, Pickens, Deontay stack. No one is going to be playing that. So right there, that could be a way to get different is just go play the Steelers passing game. Nobody will be on it. And I think that most of the volume will go through Pickens and Johnson. If you made me pick a third wide receiver from them, I would go Allen Robinson simply because that old man is still getting about 70% snap share even with Deontay back last week. So, I keep thinking Allen Robinson's dust and he's going to go away, but the Steelers love that motherfather and they keep putting him in there. Calvin Austin, if you need a punt, he's pretty affordable, but I think I'd just find the $400 and play Allen Robinson. Going over to tight end, people want to believe in this Connor Haywood, and at $2,800, he does allow you a lot of freedom with your lineup. I will warn you, I think he's going to be pretty popular tonight on a sloggy type slate at $2,800. He can be the last guy in people's lineups, and they feel pretty good about it. So just be careful with that. I'm never a big fan of playing chalky tight ends on a slate. Darnell Washington just strikes me as a guy that'll get 1 catch for 2 yards and a touchdown. And then, of course, Chris Boswell being at home with no wind and the Steelers defense being at home and favored in a sluggy game. Those guys will both be wildly popular, and I'm not saying to not play them. I'm just saying when you play them, consider playing them differently than everybody else, okay? There you go. That is my breakdown of the slate. We covered injuries. We covered how to build. We covered the total. We covered who's going to be popular, who's not, some ways to play them and some ways to not. Let's get to the drawing. Let's get to some questions. Make sure you're hitting that like. I need to see 100 likes over here so we can do 2 giveaways. Guys, I'm telling you, you're going to want to sign up now for my site, DGen75. Just come check it out. I do NFL. We do about 20 NFL stones a month, right? And if you do the math on that, that comes down to like less than $2 per stone. So if you ever want to know what it's like to have tools that you can afford. You play DFS casually, you want to play DFS and you don't want to be price gouged, just check out my site. I'm telling you, the NFL package comes out to about less than $2 per stone that we put out. We also have college football, which is just the easiest thing in the world. We're doing PGA DFS, and soon we'll be doing NASCAR. I'm not one of those people that will ever share my wins. I do just fine at DFS, trust me, but I don't want you to join my site because I win. I want you to join it because these guys win. Look at all these guys just winning first place in tournaments, right? Yeah, we have some $100,000 winners, but that's awesome. I'm so glad for those guys. That is life-changing money. But I'm more proud of these guys who have their own process, like Jerry and JT and Strobro, and these guys who just like are they're not playing $1,000 a slate. They're playing like $20 a slate, and look how much money they're winning. They build a process, they refine their process, they form they don't take my picks and plays. They do it, and this is the kind of success you get. Just look at all these incredible hits. Look at all those people flying the flag. You think it's an accident that people are flying that flag? It's just a different community. I'm telling you, we have the best tool out there called the Rosetta Stone. We do this for every single NFL slate. If you've ever wanted to try out the slate or try out the site and you're reluctant to play, just sign up for my newsletter, which is in the description of this video. Let Support DGen75 know. They'll give you a free week on the site. People love the free week on the site. I'm telling you, try it out, because in 2024, when my shit blows up, I'm probably going to bump up the prices because, the market. All right, let's get to the drawing, sponsored by my man Eric. I see 88 likes. Editor, for right now, let's draw one name from the chat, and then once we get to 100 likes, which we will definitely get to 100 likes, we will draw another name. I'm going to continue to drink my cold brew, even though it's afternoon and Grandpa shouldn't be drinking this late. I'm going to be up all night being like, I might finish the rest of the season of Survivor tonight. There's the link to the newsletter. The editor, a little slow. We got that lag going on, baby. Give me that lag. Yeah, baby. Eric won the drawing for a thing sponsored by other Eric. I'm only going to allow this because one spells it with a C and one spells it with a K. That's the only reason we're going to allow it. I see 92 likes. Keep hitting the likes, you mother fathers. Don't forget, at the top of the hour, my dudes over at Ship It, that's Tambo, Hoop, and Title, will be breaking down the Thursday night slate. Also, go check them out. They're doing just dandy over there. And don't forget, we're having a little meetup at the Waste Management come this February. If you ever wanted to meet me and the Ship It dudes, we're going to have a little co-party. We're going to get drunk, talk some shit. I'm going to look at Dumpy Bo and be like, hey, Dumpy, you're extra Bowie. I'm kidding. I love Dumpy Bo. And you never know. Maybe by then he'll be toy like a tiger. Maybe he'll get into the gym and start lifting some weights. You never know. But until then, he's still Dumpy Bo. But you know what? He's my Dumpy Bo. By the way, if you don't know what Dumpy Bo means, just come check out my PGA shit, guys. You do not know. All you NFL tryhards, you don't know how much PGA I play. I started out with NFL DFS, and then I found PGA DFS, and I was like, fuck NFL. I mean, I still play NFL, but PGA is just more fun. Those are facts. And single entry, is it too risky to fade both quarterbacks tonight? Not at all. If you have a narrative this game's going to be sloggy, those quarterbacks will not get there. All right? Henry, captain and still playing Steelers defense, the way to go. I think you can get away. And Eric, normally I don't like to play the defense against that, but I think that the Titans are going to be so dedicated running the ball tonight that I think this is one of the few times that a defense against an opposing running back can get there. I'm Ron Burgundy. Good one, Jake. All right, Brian says, what's up, you mother father? Hit the like. There it is. That guy knows how to do it. He said hit the like. Hey, there's Cody. Doesn't it just feel like a 16-13 type game? It really does. But you got to remember, Cody, we're not the only ones thinking that. And if everybody's thinking something, here's what I've learned. They're usually wrong because people are idiots. And crowd mentality is particularly stupid. Popular builds being 5-1 Steelers and mixed in. I don't think 5-1 Steelers is going to be popular at all. I think a 4-2 Steelers will be popular, but a 5-1 game, I don't think enough people are going to think that the 5 Steelers can get there. So I think a 5-1 build will be quite different, Jerry Matt. What's up, mother father? Field goal kickers both in play? Yeah. If you think this game's going to be sloggy, if it's going to be 13-12, give me the field goal kickers, right? Comment God. Hey, new guy. What's up, new guy? I don't recognize your name. I see why you're a comment God. Matt Slovakia says, low total besides prioritizing defenses and kickers. What else do we chase? I like cheap tight ends and I like running backs in sloggy type games, Slovakia. My dad just got into golf and wants a new club set for Christmas. I don't know. Very good. Go get him those How much should I spend? I mean, honestly, if he's just getting into golf, man, he's never going to know the difference. By the way, there's Travis right there. One of my dudes that just hit the 100K right there, that motherfather. Travis, to answer your question, if your dad's just getting into golf, he'll never know the difference between a $500 set of clubs and a $5,000 set of clubs, okay? He won't. It's taken me playing golf 8 years, and I'm just now being able to tell the difference between whenever I hit with shitty-ass clubs and when I hit with good clubs, all right? So just go get him like one of those starter sets that you can buy at Golf Galaxy for like $3.99. If he sticks with it for a year or two, then you go upgrade him, okay? Because golf sounds so fun in theory, but it takes a special kind of person to repeatedly want to be kicked in the nuts and enjoy it so much that they want to go back. Honestly, it's a lot like real PGA DFS, kicking the nuts, and then you flush that 1-7 iron, and you're like, motherfucker, this is all I've ever wanted in life. Okay, so there is a good chance he's going to quit, so don't go spend $3,000 on a set of clubs for him, and then he's going to quit on you in 6 months. Buy him something cheap, see if he sticks with it, see if he likes the game. If he does, then you upgrade him, because I know your ass is rich now. Thanks again for the super chat, Nick. I really appreciate it. You bro Cephas. Can't wait to watch golf for 20 minutes and 4 hours. Yeah, it's brutal. I wish they wouldn't give up on golf. RC Players, thoughts on Warren getting there in the passing game? Well, the problem is he did get 5 targets last game, and he is getting targeted as much as Najee, but he is getting targeted as much as Najee, right? So you got to imagine that probably half of at best, he's going to get about half of the the running back targets. Delbs McFly, my favorite question to ask. What is the best way to get unique and build tonight? A 4-2 Titans, yes, or a 5-1 Steelers. Or if you're a real sicko, 5-1 Titans. Oh, shit, well, one more like, we're at 100. Can both defenses be played in the same lineup? Absolutely, Dean. Absolutely. If you think that this game's going to be sloggy, I would almost encourage it, Bob. What are the chances that Pickett makes it through the third quarter? 90%. I'm not too worried about it, Doug. Jean says, is there a cash build viable to small entry GPPs? Only 26 others. Look, go build your cash lineup and then just go tweak one guy. And that'll probably be good enough for it. Weather concerns tonight, Sarah. You know I'm going over the weather, sister. You know how I roll. Let's see. I'm still waiting on DK to withdraw before I make it rain. All right. It's supposed to be just looking. All right. Are kickers more optimal over defenses tonight? Chase, I would say they're probably about equal. If you look at the stone over on my site, the projections for the kickers and the defenses are relatively close, right? I don't think that one has a distinctive advantage over the other. I would say with it being nicer weather, maybe a slight edge towards the field goal kickers, especially because these teams are wildly inefficient in the red zone. Gibbo says, yes, I'm finally able to catch it. Let's go. Thanks for being here, you motherfucker. All right, editor, I see 101 likes, just like the Dalmatians. Go ahead and draw me another name. Which team do you like to stack tonight? I mean, Carl, when all things are equal, I always prefer the underdogs, but I can see John 1. I don't mind a 5-1 build tonight for the Steelers, but I also could get down with a 4-2 build for the Titans. Who's your favorite low-owned flex play tonight? Low-owned? Oof. I mean, the problem is probably Tajay Spears, I guess. You know, if you like, I could see if the Titans get ahead, I think you're going to see a steady dose of Henry and Spears. Okay. Spears is all about the tip, if you know what I mean. Any sneaky 2K or below? Goodness gracious. I guess Kyle Phillips, maybe. Allen Robinson's at 2,200. Does he count? Nah. Calvin Austin, if you're a real sicko. Let's see. Looking for question marks. Fantasy Valhalla. Do you think Willis will see action? Nah, I mean, I think he only sees action if we see Levi's get busted up or is off to a really slow start, right? I think after that game last week, I think he has a pretty long leash. Deontay Captain viable on a slog? Yes, absolutely, Rec Leger, because he could get 10 targets for 9 catches and 110 yards. And hell, if he gets a touchdown, he'll almost certainly be there. Let's see. Got to put a question mark, Sal. Shig, a better play with Levi's slinging the rock. Shig, a better play with Levi's slinging the rock. Yeah, I mean, if you think that the old Jeans is going to be slinging the rock around, I think Shig is probably the best price-adjusted play for the Titans, as he's almost always out there. Are there any leprechauns on the field tonight? I don't know. I saw Cam Young running around a golf course today, though. Does that count? Defense and kickers kind of night. It feels that way, Nathan, but as I told everybody else, you're not the only one. We're not the only ones thinking that. So do you really want to be in a similar build playing kickers and defenses when that's what everybody else is doing, right? If you're playing in a GBP, you want to be asking yourself, how can I get leverage on this field? And you don't get leverage on the field by playing the same damn build that everybody else is. Which slapdick tight end gets in the box tonight? Give me Darnell Washington. I don't know. Just feeling for some reason. Tennessee for the win. You never have to convince me to play some underdogs. Does Levi's continue to look like a real NFL quarterback? I don't think so. I think he comes back down to earth tonight. I think he's going to have a horrific game, but that's nothing more than just me projecting. Steelers defense as a captain, take it down? Yes, but that's going to be, normally I only like to play kickers in the defense when they're going to be low owned. Steelers in the defense are captain spot. Steelers defense in the captain spot is going to be more owned than you think it will be. Ross K, you think double quarterback or no quarterback will end up being more popular? I think no quarterback will be more popular than double quarterback. Almost certainly, Ross. Deontay is due for a touchdown? Yeah, I mean, I think he's due for some touchdown regression. Do you think Burks might get some run this week since last week? That makes sense, Steven. Maybe they're bringing him back slow, so this week he does outpace Westbrook-Ikhine, but I am a little nervous about what I saw last week. Other than kicker, who else benefits from a punt fest? I already talked about this. Tight ends and running backs tend to do better in sloggy games. There's my dude, A.D. Smith. I think I'm going to go have a chat with him after this. Make sure you're hitting the likes, you motherfathers. Levis getting over half of his total passing yards on 3 touchdown bombs last week. Concerning, right? Very concerning, Andy. That's why I'm out like a fat kid in dodgeball on him. Doug says, do you see any value in Calvin Austin or Allen Robinson? Yes, I think that they both are going to be on the field a fair amount, and they're both going to be running some routes. I would lean Allen Robinson because the Steelers won't give up on that old dusty fucker. Is Henry back to being a beast again? No, but he could be for a game. You know what I'm saying? All right, Ross says, do you think Allen Robinson or Kyle Phillips can be useful? Yep, I think Allen Robinson can. I already said it. 5-1 Steelers stack be popular? No. 4-2 Steelers stacks will be popular. 5-1, maybe 10% of lineups will do that. Signed up Tuesday. Pat, you motherfather, thanks for joining the club. I hope you're enjoying it. Let me or the editor know if you have any questions about anything. Don't forget to go check out the archives. Lots of good stuff in the archives about how to use the solver, process stuff, everything. Which build do you prefer, 3-3 or 4-2? I rarely ever build, Michael. I rarely build 3-3 builds because they're just so popular, right? Kickers and defenses heavy tonight. I mean, that's going to be a popular narrative. All right, looking for a question. What's for lunch? Haven't decided. Probably a round of golf is going to be what's for lunch. Let's see. Do you think that Will Levi's has a longer leash? Yes, I do, Jason. Yes, I do. Kicker at the captain. Man, I really hate kickers at captain because, like, what's the biggest game you're ever going to see a kicker have? 12, 15 points? Like, that's rarely ever the nutted one. I can get down with a defense at kicker, or excuse me, a defense at captain, but a defense or a kicker at captain, I just can't. I can't promote that. Matt Pacafee. What type of tournament do you base your ownership projections on? The main, Matt, the main $15, right? By the way, my winners, reach out to me. We'll build those lineups tonight, okay? Levis and Steelers D together, different enough. Levis, yes. I actually think those two correlate nicely with each other, right? He could be passing the ball a lot, and the Steelers are sacking the shit out of him and maybe returning an interception to the house or something, right? Henry and Spears together. Yeah, I don't mind it, Nick. Already said it. Try paying attention. All right, thoughts on Washington at 200 over Haywood? I mean, yeah, I don't know that you really need to pay down on this slate, but if you do, I think he's viable. This guy said good stuff. Hey, I appreciate you. Good stuff from you. My winners, reach out to me. We will build those lineups tonight. Thank you guys for being here today. It has been fun. Please go check out my site, tgen75.com. Just sign up for the newsletter. Try it out for a week. You won't regret it. Things are going very, very well. And just know in 2024, when PGA gets here, it's going to take over. So be there early and get those prices locked in now. All right, guys, it's been real. I got to run. I got shit to do, you motherfathers. Enjoy this outro.